Hi there, welcome to Terraland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Taurus energy. And like usual, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be what you could be doing in your life and other people could be doing in their life, harnessing high vibe Taurus energy, putting in the work and effort to act with character and integrity, to listen to your intuition and love to guide the decisions in your life, building a stable, grounded, abundant life for yourself because you're choosing to live your life from a place of love and hope and faith and belief, and you're putting in the work and effort to do that. Now, you could struggle. The bottom energy is shadowy Taurus energy. You know, we all have our worldly nature and we all kind of want what we want and we're tempted by the things that we want. And there's different people in our life that we could be in relationship with, and it all depends on what we align with within ourselves. Have we learned the lessons from being in relationships or jobs or living our life a certain way that we don't want to live our life that way anymore? And we're willing to listen to love and intuition to move forward in hope and faith and belief? Or are we going to be tempted by our worldly nature? And there's some people in the world who've definitely decided, I'm not doing love. I get hurt doing that. Or I'm not motivated and inspired by love. I'm more motivated and inspired by the world. So whether it's a battle within yourself or a battle within other people, there's going to be some people right now who have definitely are aligned with high vibe Taurus energy. And there's going to be some people in the world that are more aligned with their worldly nature, which, we're all born with our worldly nature. It's our more prideful, egotistical, selfish, self centered, wanting to indulge ourselves, not wanting to have to grow and mature ourselves, not wanting to have to put in work and effort, not having to act with character and integrity. It's more being self focused. And that can be because of our fear, our insecurity, our lack of self belief, our underlying philosophy of life, how we view ourselves, how we view the world, how we view relationships. Some people have a shadowy view of relationships. They think they should be able to be self-centered or bossy or controlling, or relationships are just about money and status and image. And some people don't think that it's about love, that's illogical. Why would you, if you did love, you'd get hurt. Just make your life about money and materialism and status and image, and they think they'll be happy. Okay, so let's go see what's going on. I'll turn the camera down a little bit so you can see. In the top row, the reason for their reading is the Virgo Hermit energy. They've gone within to gain insight and understanding about the past because the truth sets us free. And our Virgo nature, if we're willing to do that, does the work, invests the time, energy, and effort to gain clarity about what they hadn't had clarity about before. We can all be naive and gullible, and we can live our life in certain ways thinking is going to lead to long-term emotional fulfillment, and it didn't. So we go to figure out, why didn't it? What was I not seeing? What was I not seeing about myself? What was I not seeing about the people I worked with or worked for or got in a relationship with? Virgo energy is about going within in an energy of love and compassion to see the truth, because the truth sets us free. And they're willing to see the truth about their own flaws and characteristics, or naive or gullible, or enabling poor behavior in themselves or enabling poor behavior in others, and offering it love and compassion so that they can be free of the past and past pain and heartbreak, so that they can manifest love within themselves to align with love and hope and faith and being authentic in the world, and letting go of unstable ways of being. If we don't build our own sense of self on love and get in relationships based on love and truth and justice and fairness and Taurus energy of character and integrity and putting in work and effort, we're going to build a life on an unstable foundation. And some people are just realizing that some of the ways they had viewed themselves, maybe hadn't learned to love themselves, maybe hadn't healed from the past, maybe had to go learn some tough lessons. And then we can get in relationships with other people that are not building a foundation on love. And why did we get drawn and attracted to getting in a relationship with those people? Because we had lessons to learn. And part of it could have been just to make us self reflect about, do I love myself? Do I believe in myself? Do I believe I can manifest my dreams into reality? If I do, why am I staying in this job or this friendship group or hanging out with certain people in my life if they're not encouraging me to be free? Because high vibe energy is about being free. Am I hanging around with people who are offering me love and encouragement to be all that I can be? Or are they hiding that they want to keep staying in a relationship with me or to stay at that job because it makes them happy, but they're hiding that they're unstable? It's to see the truth. Why am I not happy? Am I living my authentic truth? Am I operating out of shadow energy? Are the people I'm working with operating out of shadow energy? If if things don't seem to be moving forward in the way that I would like, it all starts within ourself, because the only person we can truly change is ourself. And when one person in a social dynamic changes who they are, it changes the whole dynamic, because you're no longer acting in the way you used to act. And if you know that you were being hopeful and believing and nurturing and supportive and insightful and mature and loving, and other people are still not acting that way, well, then it kind of, with the tower, illuminates what was hidden. The more we act in character and integrity and justice and truth and honesty and balance, it kind of illuminates the other people that aren't doing that. And we can either keep staying at that job or in that friendship or in that relationship, or we can see the truth that maybe those are people we need to distance ourselves from or go get a different job. There could be some people watching some other people live their life, and they seem to believe in themselves, they seem to love themselves, they seem to be happy, they don't seem to be acting out of pride and ego and fear and insecurity. Other people in their Virgo energy might find that curious. Some of them because they've been waiting for someone like this to come across their path. Like, I don't want to be in relationships with other people who are hiding that they're petty and envious and unstable and ungrounded and selfish and greedy and prideful and egotistical. I want to be in relationships with people who are loving. Some of you could be looking at someone in your life, hoping that if they're in an unstable foundation or way of being, you're wondering, are they going to let go of that unstable way of being? Because again, if you're a loving person, you want other people to love and believe in themselves and let go of their more ways of being that aren't conducive to them having true happiness in their life, Because we can all indulge in the world and, think that, well, I don't have to grow and mature myself. I don't have to self reflect. I don't have to heal from past pain and heartbreak. I'm just going to indulge in these ways of being in the world. I'm sure that'll make me happy. Well, if we know people are acting like that, and we're insightful, we could love them. They could be in our own family, they could be children or siblings or parents, but we don't want to maybe invest much time, energy, and effort into them if we've already been doing that and they refuse to let go of their old ways of being, and we're enlightened to the truth of that. Then we may say, I wish you peace, but I'm going to live my life the way I live it. I don't want people in my life, because shadowy energy is people who can be competitive, that they don't like that you love and believe in yourself. And they could be in their competitive energy and they might know they have some growing and maturing to do. But if they don't want to, it's like, well, I'm not going to let that upset my foundation. I wish you peace. You got free will to live your life whatever way you want. I just might, the Virgo energy is about staying in Virgo Hermit. It's kind of about kind of keeping to yourself And so, if you know you have people in your life that could be in your own family or people you'd like to have move forward with you in a long term foundation, if they're not willing to let go of their ways of being that aren't conducive to a loving, balanced relationship, because they have things within them that manipulate them, their fear, their ego, or other people in their life that tempt them to keep staying like in their fear or their ego, and they haven't detached from those people, there's a reason why they don't, and it's because they're more motivated and inspired to live their life either from ego, money, status, image, or indulgence, or defensiveness. And then those are the people that align with that way of thinking also. And if we know some people in our life that we would maybe like to move forward with, if they're not willing to work with us in an enlightened way, like self aware of why they do what they do, and to let go of that way of being and the people that they align with in their life that encourage them to live in their more shadowy nature, then, it's like, I wish you peace, but I'm going to be happy. And, I won't be aligning with you. Again, we know all sorts of people in the world that we treat with respect and kindness because love is what heals. But I'm going to stay secluded from you, basically. We see all these people in the world, but we don't spend a lot of time and energy. But you can always treat people with respect and kindness and encouragement. But if you see that they're not aligned with love, which high vibrational love, again, in Taurus energy, is people who act with character and integrity. They're truthful, they're honest, they're just, they're fair, they take action in truth and love. And the people who don't take action in truth and love and acting with character and integrity, those won't be people that you'll be investing much time, energy, and effort in because you've been illuminated to the truth. And then as you move forward, you're going to pay attention to the different people you come across in your life to see how they harness their Gemini and their Pisces and their Virgo energy. Are they aligned with truth and love, or are they trying to manipulate people in relationships to get what they want, hiding that they're unstable and that the reason they might want to get in the relationship is because more about shadowy reasons? I'm unstable. I'm not very grounded. I'm kind of immature or impulsive or fearful or insecure. And if I get in a relationship with you, it'll look at me. I've manifested a loving family dynamic. But it's more because of the energy of the people they get in relationship with. They don't harness that energy themselves and they hide. The Virgo in shadow can be I'm hiding, and the Tower not showing as itself is like I'm not really aligned with that, but I'm trying to make it look like I am so that people will keep letting me be in their friend group or hire me or get in a relationship with me. But I'm not going to reveal the truth. And I'm not authentically going to be myself in the relationship. And I might not be truthful and honest and just and fair because I'm tipped out of balance in my ego, in my emotionally defensive nature. But I want to look like I have all these things in the world. I just don't want to do the work on my own foundation to match people in that energy. But I want to look like I'm in that energy by getting in relationships with other people who are in high vibe energy. So then it makes me look like I harness those traits and characteristics too. The only thing is, eventually, what's hidden comes to light. And eventually, we can all get in relationships with people, and initially it's all great and wonderful, or meet a new friend, get a new job, and it all seems great. But eventually, you know, people are kind of wondering why, shadowy energy is about people not growing and maturing themselves over time, and relationships growing over time, and, being more authentic, being more vulnerable, being more, just the relationship itself growing and maturing. And eventually people wonder, why isn't this seeming to be growing and maturing? I could have loved this job, I could have loved these people, but something seems stagnant. And also, that other people eventually want to shed some old ways of being, because that's about giving birth to new ways of being. As relationships grow and mature, we shed some old ways of being. That could be what some people have a problem with. And that's and that's when the truth is revealed. If they get in friendships or workplaces or relationships with someone, they eventually find out that some of the people in that group don't want to let go of some things in their life that they're attached to. That could be being defensive, it could be hiding behind their ego. If they were kind of more codependent, they could have other people in their life that they're unwilling to detach from, to be more independent from. The Tower card is Scorpio, Aries energy. They could be people who don't want to step out of their comfort zones. Like, this is great. Let's stay right here. And Ten of Cups is Pisces energy, and in shadow, that can be people who have this illusion that don't we get in a relationship or hire new people, but we never change. It's kind of this illusion of love. Don't we get in a relationship? Don't we even maybe manipulate people to get in a relationship with us or hire them to work for us? And we create this illusion that everything's wonderful. And initially everything can be. But if there are people that are hiding that they have these shadowy ways of being that they were hiding, like, I'm kind of self-centered, I'm bossy, I'm controlling, I'm kind of immature, I'm kind of fearful and insecure, I'm, whatever. Eventually, when things don't seem to be growing and maturing themselves, the other people go within to figure out why things don't seem to be growing and maturing. There can be people who are in a relationship right now trying to figure out why, with the person they are in a relationship with, why that previous relationship didn't work out, and they think they're hiding something, the truth about why a previous relationship didn't work out. you know, if we've learned and grown and matured ourselves about why a relationship didn't work out in the past and how we could have contributed to it, there's no shame in it anymore because we've gained the insight and wisdom from that life experience. And some shadowy people right now are watching other people to see how they do things, and then they're going to kind of like try to take that as their own and then mimic that without that authentically being who they are. I just want, shadowy energy, it's kind of like between God and the devil. The devil tries to mimic like high vibe energy, like, oh, I'm just, I'm fair, I'm loving, it'll be really abundant, you should align with me, make your life more about ego and image in the world, don't be your authentic self, don't gain insight and wisdom, don't listen to your intuition, don't love yourself, make your life about indulgence. And so shadowy people try to create this illusion that they're loving family people, but really they're hiding that they don't operate from a foundation of love. And some people could be doing that in a relationship right now. And the people they're in a relationship with are sensing that there's something they're not telling them. What is this tower not showing itself? Okay. So we have a card. The reason why is the tower not showing itself? Because this card isn't showing itself. But the reason this card came out is because people in their Pisces energy of the Knight of Cups, and they don't have to be a Pisces sun sign, it's just how they harness their Pisces energy, could be presenting themselves as like, oh no, I'm willing to move forward in a relationship with you. Again, trying to create an illusion that I'm insightful and wise and I'm loving and I'm willing to manifest love. But what they might be hiding that will make the relationship unstable is they either are people who don't believe in their dreams and they think life is just about manipulating people to create this illusion in the world of how wonderful it is and how great their life is, but they don't have hope and faith and belief in their dreams, which is hiding that they're unstable. to get in a relationship with someone thinking you're going to be in this loving relationship, and you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't believe in love, and they're just trying to get you caught up in an illusion that everything will be wonderful and great, but they don't operate from love, having hope and faith and belief in love, being authentic and warm and giving and loving. They just think it's about creating this illusion and trying to manipulate people so they look like they've manifested these things into the world. The other thing it could be is the star card in Aquarius energy could be someone who hides that they're prideful and egotistical and self-centered. They want everyone else to put aside their pride and ego, but never them. And it's all about looking like a shining star in the world. I try to manipulate people to get in a relationship or to work here. I try to present myself as wonderful and loving and a happy family person. But I don't have hope and faith in any of that. So I actually operate from my shadow nature. And because I don't have hope and faith and belief in healing and growing and maturing and all those good things, I act out of my shadow energy, and I could be self centered, bossy, controlling, manipulative in order to get what I want, because I want to look victorious and successful. So I want you to stay at this job. I want you to stay in a relationship with me. I want you to get in a relationship with me. And some people are finding out the truth about some of the people they're in a relationship with, or trying to figure out the truth. If something seemed really victorious and successful, why didn't it work out? Well, some people might want to not tell them. Well, the other people had hope and faith and belief and love, and they wanted me to look at life from a higher perspective. And I don't look at life from a higher perspective. I'm more aligned with my worldly nature, but I hide that from people. I'm getting relationships more to indulge myself in them, and it's good for my status and my image and my sense of stability and security, but I don't really operate from love. I operate more from my egoic, emotionally defensive nature. And some other people who are watching high vibe people, if they know some people that are in situations that intuitively they think they're hiding, that it's unstable, those people are wondering if those people are ever going to get out of the illusion and their ego of staying in that job or that relationship and letting it go and loving and believing in themselves in high vibe Pisces energy, to believe in themselves and believe in their dreams and let go of the illusion. And I think if any of you have been waiting, wondering, well, I think as you're just moving forward, you're looking to see who is and who isn't, who is in their ego and who isn't in their ego, who is more motivated and inspired by the world, and who's has hope and faith and belief in their dreams. And those are the people you want to invest in. You know, whether it's people that you meet as you move forward, or people who meet you as you move forward, or if anyone were to come towards you that you might already know, that you intuitively have always felt is like a loving person, but they could have just gotten themselves tangled up in something, you know, that's become shadowy because, you know, both people in a relationship aren't willing to grow and mature themselves. It can become, you know, people battling each other and fighting each other in a way. But I think you high vibe people, you've probably already dealt with people who are in shadow before, and you learn the lessons you were meant to learn from that to offer love to it. I accept that there's people in my life who were happy living their life the way they were, but it could have been they're bossy, they're controlling, they lack insight, they lack self awareness. They could be kind of prideful, egotistical, caught up in the world, don't really build foundations on love. And I can wish them peace and let go of that so that I can keep manifesting my dreams into reality. And you're wanting to invest in people who are insightful and wise, who have also learned the truth that life's about love and to get out of your egoic view of life. So let's go look down at the shadowy energy. Here we have, I view these as two Scorpio cards. And again, people don't have to be a Scorpio sun sign, it's how they harness their Scorpio energy. So we have the Death card, the Queen of Cups, the Sun card, and the Eight of Cups, which is also Pisces energy. You know, in order to move forward in life, we have to be willing to learn lessons in life, which the Virgo hermit goes within to see the truth, so that we can close out an old way of being that is stopping us from moving forward in life differently, like to move to the next level of life. I've shed some layers of my fear and insecurity. I've healed from some of my past pain and heartbreak. Now, whatever those issues were, or my illusions or fantasy about love, I've seen the truth about who is loving and who isn't loving in my life, who is just and fair, who is more prideful and egotistical, who is more motivated by emotional defensiveness and protecting themselves at all costs, who's more motivated by money and ego and image, who is willing to self-reflect and who isn't. And the World card's about being able to close out an old chapter. But you might know some people, some people don't want to be illuminated to the truth, which is what the Sun card talks about, because that would mean they'd have to walk away from their illusions of Scorpio energy, because the Eight of Cups walks away from the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Cups, like the Death card and the Queen of Cups, is Scorpio energy. Some people love how they've lived their life, and they want to keep living their life that way, even though there is nothing new to learn there. They've learned everything they were meant to learn there. It's like dead energy. You can keep repeating that same old pattern over and over and over, but there's nothing new to learn there. But some people want to keep living their life that way and repeating an old pattern and way of being, because if they were to acknowledge the truth that there's nothing new to learn here, I have lived my life like this and done this over and over and over, it doesn't challenge me to grow and mature myself. Some people are okay with that because they don't want to grow and mature themselves. They'd have to walk away from these illusions that they have about the world or themselves or how they view relationships. And they'd have to offer themselves a cup of love to have hope and faith and belief in their dreams. And they'd have to connect in with their emotions and their intuition. And some people have put an end to even connecting in with their emotions and their intuition. It's like, no, not going to do love. They're going to harness these energies in a shadowy way. I'm going to harness shadowy Leo, shadowy Pisces. It's all about me indulging myself in the world. It's not about love. It's all about me. My ego, my image, my status, what makes me happy. And it's not about love, and it's not about being in mutually loving relationships. It's all about me indulging myself in the world. So I'll get in relationships, try to manipulate people to get in relationships with me until they see the truth that I'm just manipulating people and creating an illusion that I'm willing to have a new beginning. Oh, did something happen in your life that you're sad? Did a relationship end for you? Perfect. Let me come in and get in a relationship with you. And then let's just stay right here. I know. You thought we'd have a new beginning and bring a dream into reality. No, I just want to indulge in the illusion of love. And as long as you're willing to indulge me in this illusion of love, where I never have to detach from any of my old ways of being or anybody in my life that I'm codependent on or whatever, and I never have to learn to love and believe in myself, and we never have to really bring the dream into reality, which would illuminate that I have walked away from the past and some people in my life that maybe relationships have ended with. Some people keep having an illusion that there's people that aren't in their life right now that they're going to get back in relationship with. And so because of that, even though that relationship ended, they still dream of having a new beginning with that person. Convinced that person one day is going to put an end to what they're involved in and want a new beginning with them. And so they're defensive to the truth. When we keep hoping that someone who has already shown us their free will choice is not to put in work and effort to being in a relationship with us, we don't want to see the truth that someone, it's stopping us from facing our own fears and insecurities. Because why would we keep waiting for someone else to maybe get in a relationship with us? Because it would require us to face our own insecurities of like being bold and brave, to believe in ourselves and to detach from that old foundation and see the truth that we deserve to be in loving relationships. And if there's people in our life who aren't willing to be in a relationship with us and put in work and effort to have a new beginning and move forward with us, then we need to accept the truth that maybe other people are caught up in their own issues, And we can empathetically know that, that people might have their own fears, their own insecurities, their addictions, their more materialistic view of life, their more immature way of being. But if they're not putting in work and effort to work with us in truth and justice and fairness, then they would be like a shadowy energy in our life that's trying to stop us from moving forward. Sometimes shadowy people are trying to manipulate us to not have hope and faith and belief in ourselves and belief in our dreams, and to not heal and to stay in our ego and in our competitive energy, in our codependent energy, so we won't go manifest a new beginning with someone else, even though they're not in a relationship with us right now. It's like, well, that's okay. I'm going to go do whatever the hell I want to go do, and I want you to sit here waiting for me. That's unjust and it's unfair. And eventually it becomes more and more toxic and unhealthy. And we have the free will choice to keep staying in it. No, I'm defensive of love. I'm sure they're going to come around any day. And they don't realize how unhealthy it is. Because why? What is it within us that's stopping us from manifesting our dreams into reality? Our dreams are not codependent on a specific person being in our life. Our dreams coming into reality is being with other people who harness the same energy that we harness. And if some people it's already been illuminated that we need to walk away from these people because these people repeat this pattern of the past, maybe in shadowy Scorpio energy. That can be someone who's a narcissist. It can be someone who is emotionally shallow and superficial. They don't want to do love. They want to move forward in ego. If they've already illuminated the truth, I don't want to do love. If they were in a relationship with you, they had the free will choice to be open and honest and authentic and loving and just and fair and act with character and integrity, and they didn't do that, well, then they've already shown you what they choose. I don't choose that. That's not what motivates and inspires me. Because I have fear, I have insecurity, I'm prideful, I'm egotistical, I'm emotionally defensive. I could get hurt doing that. If I'm going to get in a relationship with someone has to indulge me in my shadowy energy. I want to have the scales tipped in my favor where people indulge me. There's some people that do like to keep their emotions buried beneath the surface, and they're looking to find someone else who will indulge them like a parent would indulge a child. Won't you give up on your dreams in order to indulge me? Because I have fear and insecurity and pride and ego, and I don't want to see the truth. Won't you give up on your dreams and not move forward in your life to get the justice you deserve? Won't you keep indulging me in a relationship? And that would be an out of balance relationship where one person could be very loving and nurturing and supportive, indulging someone else in their poor behavior, but it equally is because people don't want to see the truth because it would require them to work through their own emotional confusion and their illusions about what love is. Some people stay in relationships with people who are really abusive, physically abusive. And it's like, oh, but they love me or I love them. It's not to say there can't there wasn't an element of love. But the thing is, instead of being open and honest and just and fair and self aware of why they do what they do, shadowy people don't want to be illuminated to the truth. They want to keep holding on to their more shadowy ways of being, which means the loving people in their life aren't going to have their dreams come into reality. But they so badly want it for them to not have to grow and mature themselves or put in work and effort that it's like they don't care that your dreams aren't going to come into reality. This way of living their life makes them feel safe. And so it's really more all about them and their wants and their needs and their lust and their greed and their pride and their ego and their fear. And that's a very selfish energy, right? If you really love someone, you certainly won't want them to be emotionally confused by your actions. You wouldn't try to manipulate them. If you truly love someone and weren't consumed with yourself and your selfishness or your fear or your ego, you would be authentic and warm and loving. And you learn some lessons in life and you self-reflect. Why, if I have loving people in my life, am I not treating them in a loving, kind manner? Because that would require I'd be willing to grow and mature myself and quit clinging to those old ways of being that make me feel safe and secure, and my more worldly nature, and my more immature nature, and my more prideful, egotistical, lustful, greedy nature, and lazy nature. And I'd have to connect in with my more authentic nature of love. And I'm defensive of doing that because I have fear of letting my more vulnerable, authentic nature out in the world. And the truth is, I could really be all about myself, and I am immature, and I have a lot of growing and maturing to do, but I don't want to do it. So if I get in relationships with people who end up seeing the truth about me, and they're no longer caught up in the illusion, and they let go of being in a relationship with me, well, because someone who had been indulging me was illuminated to the truth and walked away, and the relationship ended, and I feel left out in the cold, but I'm defensive to love. I'm going to keep being defensive to those people who saw the truth that I'm more concerned about my more emotionally vulnerable nature getting hurt than love. And I'm going to let those people go, and they're going to work through their own fears and insecurities to go. And I know I have an idea. I'm going to go find someone else who might be heartbroken that a relationship ended. And I'm going to do the pattern all over again. I'm going to communicate to them, hey, you want to get in a relationship? I'm going to try to make it look like it's a brand new beginning, but really I'm repeating an old pattern of the past. I'm just creating an illusion with you, just like I created an illusion with the other people I'd previously been in a relationship, to hide the fact of why that other relationship ended, and that I don't build my foundation on loving and believing in myself. And I don't put work and effort into growing and maturing myself and dealing with all my fears and my insecurities and my emotionally defensive or prideful or egotistical or immature way of being in the world. So I'm going to hide that I'm unstable from you until you go within and see the truth. And then I guess this relationship will end too. That's why aligning with your more shadowy nature doesn't work out. We all do have lessons to learn in life, and we all have growing and maturing to do, and we all have to learn to love and believe in ourselves, and not aligning with our more fearful, insecure, immature, indulgent nature, or just wanting to feel better in the moment. And we're going to learn a lot of tough lessons, but if we offer ourselves love and compassion for having gone through those life experiences to learn what's loving, what's hurtful. How have I not been loving myself and I've been, because the whole thing is about getting illuminated to the truth. Oh, did I have to go within and learn to love myself? Love my own foundation? instead of aligning with my more worldly, egoic nature and my more codependent nature of looking outside myself for the answer when the answer lies within me. And so we're all going to go through life experiences like that. It's just to realize that as you go through life, you've learned some life lessons and detached in some old ways of being, and you are maybe authentic and warm and loving and giving of yourself, and other people haven't done that work within themselves like you did all those years of your life, just ever since you're 15, 18, 21, 25. Some people have learned lessons along that journey in life, and other people just kept operating from ego and being defensive, never self-reflecting and seeing the truth that and healing from past pain and heartbreak. They keep staying in pain and heartbreak because relationships ended. Well, why those relationships ended? Some of them ended because you just weren't on the same page. Some people just take it personally, and it's like, nobody loves me, nobody likes me. It's like, well, you got to have that special thing. And then there's some people who come in to indulge in a relationship with you, and then you got to see the truth of it. But some people can either just take it personally, like everybody just leaves me out in the cold. It's like, well, I don't know. Do you think you dealt with some prideful, egotistical, immature, indulgent, manipulative people in your life? See the truth and set yourself free. Did you deal with some people that operate more from pride and ego, and it was good for their ego and image to maybe get in a relationship with you, but they never had an intention of moving forward in love? See the truth, set yourself free. Did you get in relationships with some people who just don't even believe in love, and they're caught up in the illusion of the world and wanted to be in a relationship because of those things? Shadowy people probably have had similar things happen in their life. The difference is high vibe people went within to love themselves, to heal their own foundation, so they didn't give up on their dreams. They did look at life from a higher perspective. And that's what some people who are in shadowy energy right now, who might know some high vibe people in their life, how come those people can move forward and seem so much more stable and grounded and happy than I am? Well, because those people don't keep investing time, energy, and effort sitting in emotions and thoughts that aren't like loving and encouraging and supportive to themselves. They don't keep investing in their shadowy nature. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be in my ego. I'm going to be jealous and envious and revengeful. What they don't know about those people is that they have hope and faith and belief in their dreams. And they step back and look at life from a higher perspective. And they believe that the divine has a plan for their life. And they offer themselves love so that they can let go of dreams that didn't work out, to keep having hope and faith and belief in their dreams. That just because a dream didn't work out with one job or one relationship doesn't mean my dreams can't come into reality. But the shadowy people, when their dreams didn't come into reality, it was like, no, that's it. I'm done. Not doing love anymore. I've decided to be in my ego about this situation. No longer believing in my dreams. Is going to be more about me indulging myself in the world and all the future relationships I get in. I'm going to be emotionally defensive. No more love for me. I got hurt before. And then they expect that people are going to want to stay in relationships with them when they keep being emotionally defensive and kind of all about themselves in a relationship, and they haven't done any work to heal from past pain and heartbreak and thinking it'll all magically work out. Well, when you still have past pain and heartbreak and all this hurt and abandonment issues that you've never dealt with, yeah, that's going to affect the decisions you make in a relationship. And eventually it will come to light. And that relationship will probably end. And they're like, see, another relationship ended. Yep, that's it. I'm in my ego. Well, grow up. So, I think some of you high vibe people, everybody could be getting in new relationships. Some of the people are like, well, because that other relationship didn't work out, I'm going to go have a new beginning and indulge myself. Oops. I'm going to just move forward in the next relationship and be defensive to the truth, because I don't want to deal with my issues from the past and how I might have contributed to that relationship falling apart. Maybe I did have hope and faith and belief and it fell apart. Well, are we going to stay in emotional confusion about it? We could have been an honest, authentic, loving person, and the people we were in a relationship with were creating an illusion. That they had issues that they kept buried beneath the surface, things they didn't want to deal with. If we can feel proud of ourselves, that I know I was truthful, I was honest, I was just, I was fair, I was loving, I was encouraging, I was supportive, I gave everything I could, I'm certainly not going to give up on my dreams because someone who I love decided to be in their ego and walk away. Okay, well, why were they in their ego? Who knows? Why were they defensive? Who knows? But it's kind of like Jesus and the disciples spreading the good news, right? You go out and you spread the good news. Who is receptive to that and who's not? Well, the people who aren't, there's a reason why they're not. And the door to shadow is great, Past pain and heartbreak, fear, insecurity, immaturity. I'd feel vulnerable. I could get hurt. I haven't dealt with any of my issues from my past when I felt abandoned or neglected. And, it doesn't really matter. It's just to realize that they weren't in that space. But we don't give up on our dreams. We keep loving and believing in ourselves, and we can be proud of how we acted anyway in a relationship, and we can take those same skills to our future relationships. And the people who keep indulging in their more defensive, immature ways of being, well, they can take those traits and characteristics to the next relationship and see how that works out. And maybe they'll get in a relationship with someone who's more on the same page as them, and maybe they'll be able to work better together in a way because they're kind of on the same page, And if they're willing to work out those issues, maybe they'll learn truths about each other because they are more on the same page. But people who tried to create an illusion that they were more like mature or grounded or willing to put in work and effort than they were really willing to, that probably blew up in their face. Because the whole thing is you should be truthful and honest kind of about where you're at in your life. And to think, oh, I know, I'll just create an illusion and hide all that shit. It's like, yeah, it'll come to light eventually. So it's just better to be upfront and honest. But then that can make people feel vulnerable, and they don't want to feel vulnerable. So, sometimes it gets to be like you're talking to a brick wall, and you just got to wish them peace. And it's like, I hope it works out for you, because we need more people in a place of peace in the world than upset, But anyway, and then there's the really shadowy people who, when they get in a relationship with people, they try to stop those people from loving themselves. Because if they love themselves and they're in a relationship with someone who in shadowy Scorpio energy could be intimidating, controlling, emotionally shallow, superficial, acts like a private detective in a relationship, those people would leave them. And so then they create this illusion that everything's wonderful, hiding that they're trying to wear away at the foundation of the people they're in a relationship with, so that those people will keep staying codependent on them and indulging them in a relationship and not loving and believing in themselves. And if anybody's in those kind of relationships right now, some of those people are becoming illuminated to the truth of it. I can love someone who doesn't have my best interest at heart out of their own fear and codependency, or it's good for their status or image for me to keep staying in the relationship. And that's really what drives and motivates them. It isn't love. And I'm illuminated to the truth of it, that this is just an illusion. I was offering love, and they were wanting to stay in the relationship because it was good for their ego or image or indulgence. And some people are being illuminated to the truth and they're walking away. And they're going to go invest in going within to gain insight and understanding and start investing emotionally in other people in the world. Because if we've been investing in shadowy people, that means there are people in our life that we haven't been investing in. Because again, we have a dualistic nature. We live in a dualistic world. If we were indulging people that we maybe weren't seeing were in shadowy energy, there's probably other loving, encouraging people in our life who aren't trying to manipulate us, control us, play on our ego and our lust or our greed or our fear or insecurity, who have our best interest at heart, and they're going to go start investing time and energy into those people. Some of those, that could be you, because that's also what you're doing. I'm trying to find the people in the world who I think aren't going to try to intimidate and control me and try to destabilize me from loving and believing in myself to being with people who do want me to become all that I can be, who are proud of me loving myself and believing in myself and listening to my intuition, because they do that within themselves too. And I want them to love and believe in themselves and become all they can be. And other people are like, I don't want to change. I don't want to do things any differently. I love life the way I've always lived it. You need to live life the way I've lived it. I'm enslaved and imprisoned to all these things and all these people, and I want you to let those same things enslave and imprison you, because they imprison me. And it's like, high vibe energy is about being free. That's what the energy of love is about. I deserve to be free to become all I can be in the energy of love and truth, and to work with other people who have that philosophy of life, not people who are still enslaved and imprisoned and restricted and confined by their fear and their ego and their more immature, emotionally defensive nature, and other people in their life who manipulate them. If you're not free, I wish you peace, but I got to move on. So there you go, Taurus energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.